especially in 2022. Men who are master of their emotions, right? Go. Yes, emotions, and I'm gonna take me. When I before I covered that this is Instagram over here, and all that is over here. So if you want to come in, join the conversation and everything, let me know. Link so you can. So when it comes down to emotions, right? When I was married, I didn't have control. My emotional control was controlled by whatever she wanted. That's not what you're supposed to do. As a man, as a man, how are you going to be a leader, effective leader, when you cannot control your emotions? What it ended up happening with me was I didn't know that food played a very in my emotions. One day she made this meal for me, right? And so when I knew that I had a issue in regards to food, she made this healthy meal. We was on our healthy stuff. We were doing it. I threw it in the trash before I got home. And when I the trash, right? I got angry at her. How dare you? Oh, okay. How dare you make me something? And I'm mad because she was trying to help me. But because I was not a master of my emotions, what did I do? I went and I blamed her for my food addiction. Started an argument. I remember that day. Started an argument, man, got mad, got upset. And then I stormed out the door, which would go on, I realized was an excuse to go get McDonald's. I wasn't a very effective husband, nor was I a leader, because she did nothing wrong. But when you become an emotional man and you have these emotions, what do? You don't want to blame the person who is in the freaking mirror for your issues. You want to blame the person outside of the mirror, which is your another. So I didn't know that I had issues. Then I kind of knew I had an issue with emotions. And that's the issue that comes when you look at having problems. When you have issues, instead of looking within, because it's, regardless of what people,
is he frozen?
I think so. There we go.
So instead of me saying, "Hey, man, I need to do the work on myself. I need to do some some soul searching," I pointed the finger. And see, here's the thing about the difference between men and women when it comes down to emotions, right? See, men don't have of deflection. We don't have the ability to set back and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to go on this and that, and then I'm just going to have. And there's a bunch of women out there going to be buying me drinks, have fun. I'm do this and that. You have to sit in that shit and figure it out. because we are defined, men are defined by what they solve or resolve. What can you resolve, solve to be able to get me to where I need to be? Progression is what defines a man. But when I'm being emotional, I did emotional shit. I did 100% emotional shit. I argued all the time. I was hyper all the time. I had some disorder. I would be in Amazon all the time. I would start and stop stuff and then get frustrated and get mad, and they say, yeah, I ain't had no help. See, you didn't help me. Right? I played a lot of less of amount of her when she wasn't the problem. It was me. Understand the hold that food had on me. Hey, what's up, Belinda? How you doing? I didn't have that food had on me. Let me tell you what was crazy about me. I was secret envious of bodybuilders. And envious of the body. I was envious of the discipline. Because I was always envious of things that was unattainable. That was completely unattainable. That didn't make sense. Oh, oh man, we can do this and you can. So, okay. So and here's the crazy part about this whole situation. I knew that I had discipline. I had discipline from the military. So I knew, I need to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I knew that. But it came when I left the military and when I'm free. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to grow my face. I'm going to do this and that. I'm going to do all of this. None of which helped me in my marriage. Because required in my marriage was discipline. She had a food addiction. I had a food. But I was also an emotional man. And that is the wrong type of man. A man who leads with his emotions can never lead. Because everything is going to be impulsive. So when I was in my marriage, when I was in thick of it, all I was defined by was what was the next problem. What is the problem I needed to solve? Here's the problem with that person. If you are always needing to fix to be defined by for which you said you are, which you said you are fixer. Problem to so I can allow her to define me for who I was. The most thing in the world. Hey, what's up, Caleb? So instead of leading my family, instead of me doing what I needed to do, instead of me being the man I was supposed to be, I wasn't. Blaming. Hey, what's going on there? I was blaming. I was out there. I was blaming her that I could fix. And this was before even me understanding what food addiction was. Remember, if you look at one of my videos, that it took me 10 years to figure it out. 10 years to figure out for me to be able to where I'm at. It took 10 years, loss of a wife, and had my kids damn near walk out on me. For me to figure that out, that I was the freaking problem. Now I'm seeing men out here today that are unaware of what's going on today. Imagine men unaware that the fact that they feel unhappy, they feel a certain way, it's all fixable itself. And it has to do with any freaking woman out there in this world. You can create your own peace. You can do the things you want to do. You can go out here and define by your own merits. You choose to do. But yet, for some, you can blame everything on them. So when if all, and that's what I did. I was the most ineffective freak I've ever been. Because I did not understand what I needed to understand to get my family where it's at. I relied on emotions because it's the most easily really available emotions. You can find emotions. You can define anything by emotions, man. If you want it, you find rational reasons. You find whatever you want when you got your emotions involved. It ain't never your fault. And you could take that to the day you die. You could take you die. Straight up. And that's the beauty of emotions. That's the beauty of emotions. The beauty of emotions is that it's always justify your bullshit. So then he had a freaking enough, which he should have had enough a long time ago. Maybe I would have discussed this stuff. We finally had enough. It sent me down on a path to understand that nobody in this house I can blame. It's all on me. It's nobody in this house I can blame. Nobody in this house can fix this but me. Nobody. And a lot of men, we sit here, women, and we blame women for stuff that we can fix. And we say, oh, it's your fault. I did this for you. I did that. I did that. You didn't do nothing for her. You did for yourself just so you can say, I did this for her. I did that. She probably didn't ask you. You volunteered that shit. And that made you feel good. Your ego. And I had to learn that as a man. Like I tell the story all the time. I had to learn I had to understand intimacy. I had to go and learn how to be intimate with a bed with a woman. I had to understand that. I had to understand how things work, how my brain operates. I had to rewire my entire brain in order for me, because that is what you have to define in order to be defined as a man, right? What did I say? A man is defined by what he can solve and resolve. What you're done by in your life or around you. So I had to finally believe in myself to be that good man, to be that man, that leader that I wanted to be, to be that person I needed to be. So I had to define get away from social media, get away from dating, get away from all of that, all of this stuff that goes on. I had to be defined. I had to define myself in order for me to stand in my morals. And then when I figured out myself, now I had to go test the product. I had to put the product out there in the world to see what's going to happen. I got to go test my product. A lot of times I failed, but I noticed weak people count failures. Weak people count failures. And what I realized is that, dang, man, everybody around me say, oh, man, inventing yourself. You don't have to do that. No. I had to understand that I needed to myself into something different for me. It wasn't for anyone else. It wasn't for any of my kids. It was for freaky. I had to be the best version that I be for me. Me, not for somebody else. And that's how you have to carve. I said, man, my culture is based on fear. We're based on fear. Oh, you better not say anything. You know, God gonna get you. Oh, wait a minute. And I had to ask myself this, and I'll never forget this. When I started to say, and I'm gonna hurt somebody's feeling, I was like, wait a minute, God, hold on. I got questions. You mean to tell me if I sin bad or I gotta watch what I say? Or I got to do this, it's spells coming out of my mouth, or millions of daggone years, and ain't nothing happened. Why it doesn't work on the positive side? Why does it work on the negative? Why does it only work when I'm speaking this certain way that's going to come? Is it not going to come back? And you know what came back? Because they full of shit. It works both ways. It works both ways, but the positive way, you get up off your butt and do something. You can't base your life on fear. You can't base your life on fear. You can't base your life on things that, oh, if you don't do it, you know, it's going to do this, the universe is going to punish you. No, man. No. Life of abundance is what you want. But when I was living in that fear-based mentality and that scarcity mindset, yo, I did a lot of stupid shit. A lot of stupid shit that I'm not proud of. I'm not proud of. A lot of walking around with a bunch of emotions, letting people tell me about this, all this other stuff. Let people manipulate my mind. Let people tell me this. Just be quiet. Kiss my ass now. I be supposed to, but I had to go through hell to do it. I had to go through hell to let somebody to get to the man that I am today. I sit back and go into intimacy courses, learn how to communicate, relationship courses, how to effectively communicate, conflict resolution courses. I paid thousands upon thousands of dollars to fix me, to reprogram this that was programmed in the 1977. I had a program from birth, and I had to pay money. I had to go to see people. I had to go people who wasn't even my culture to program me. I had to pilots in order for me to subdue the most hard thing in the world to do, and that is subdue your emotions as a man. Because I find men to be crazy, hyper emotional. But what we doing, what we telling them, don't be afraid when there are women out there who love that. When they getting attention for it, you know how hard that is? We're emotional and they say, nah, that's not how you're supposed to be. Hey man, that's causing you to eat. That's causing crap that you don't supposed to eat. That's called to be places that you don't even supposed to be, brother. You don't supposed to be over there on that block. You don't supposed to be treating that woman like that. You don't supposed to be doing stuff conducive of a man. And you say, well, but those women are not got to be real. Those women you dealing with. Those not healed women, man. That's going to uplift you and take you somewhere. Y'all basically trauma bonding. You know, stomach. You hear them? That's not what you supposed to, man. and you get on this side. Control of what you eat every day. So we're gonna let the panel talk. Kari, what you got on this topic?
What's up? What's up? Well, I can looking back and I can say in my past relationship, the marriage, in the past relationship, when it came to just the emotion, right? I thought I was a man that was able to control most of those emotions, but I wasn't as much of a leader as I thought I was. And this is a lot of things that we have in the house that we are letting leaders out. We're not letting we're not making our children, and I don't care if they're boy, girl, gay, straight, I really don't care. We're not producing leaderships that have self-control over their emotional content, right? So even with myself, what I found myself, even with the food thing, I ended up being at a weight of 240. Now that's heavy for me. When we started out this journey, I was weighing 221. Now I'm at 199. And it's not the because I want to, I just want to make it clear.
Good job, man.
It's not about the weight. It's not about the weight whatsoever. It's about the discipline. And the mental discipline that didn't exist in my relationship, or that did, and it was being destroyed. It was just being chopped at, and not knowing as a man, how to deal with that. And I was a pretty strong guy. That's what kind of kept me together, having the strong martial arts background, having the strong mentality. But in that mentality, I was still broken. And there's a lot of men in the house, that are broken leaders. And not bad leaders either. They're not bad leaders, but they've been chopped at and broken bits by bits, piece by pieces. And sometimes in this current relationship environment, you have men that have been broken by one woman, another woman, and it's the same way with women. It's just a constant state of broken pieces. Now, I focus in on the men's mental health part of it, because if without men, we need men. We need the wisdom, the guidance, the strength, the security of these men. But when you can Google and see that men are taking their lives, like I have to do the comparison, right? Because it's many things that you can compare it to. But when I compare it to what these numbers and things that are out there that are affecting people, right? The men are taking their lives because of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, out of everything, that it used to be money. It used to be where I lost my job. I don't have what I had before. And now it's over a woman.
Mm.
I mean, I'm going to take it a step further, because I want women and everybody to understand, when it comes to the men's mental health, what I'm hearing, what I'm taking in, what I have to eat every day. It's also coming off of those women's children, because they can't handle it. They don't know how to be stepfathers. because they didn't even know how to be a father. They have children and now they're a stepfather. There's a pressure here. There's a pressure with the emotional content. Men are the most emotional creatures on the planet. We are just taught by birth to self-control, deal with. But we bubble. We crock pot. And you never know when that crock pot of a man is going to boil over. So what we do as men, what men do now is we comfort eat. And I didn't know, I started this with purpose. We started this early, and I said, yo, bro, you know what? I have an addiction to ice cream and sweet tea. I gotta go. And then probably about 7 days in, I called him. I said, hey, bro, I'm not addicted to ice cream or sweet tea. I'm addicted to food. I'm addicted to sitting down, putting some in my mouth when I don't have anything to do. Or when I might be alone and I'm comfortable like that. So I had to start replacing the habits. Ice cream was replaced with carrots or apples. But then I started noticing, like, this was the best part of it. I'm gonna tell you guys, get on this challenge. We only 14 days in right now. But I'm gonna tell you the best part of this challenge, which it showed me some emotional thing with human beings. So I was having some left side sciatic pain. Because I lost the feelings from my legs down. I had my lower L spine was crushed many years ago. So it's amazing that I'm able to walk and everything. And I've been a fighter. I've done many, many things because they told me I couldn't. If I kept running, I wasn't going to be able to walk anymore. So I took that as a challenge. You're not going to tell me what I can't do. Right? And I kept pushing. So, but your body, our bones move back and forth and things like that from movement and constant and just gravity. But the muscles all work together. And I'm about to give y'all something beautiful. I hope you can take it in. Let's say we had 10 muscles. What we end up doing is using 2. And they have to compensate for those other 8. And then the bones have to compensate around those muscles, 2 muscles. But when you work out and you train yourself, now you have 10 muscles moving at the same time. It's taking the pressure off of the other people in the relationship with those muscles in the body, right? It takes the pressure off when everything is moving in a synergetic type of motion. So the other day, well, not the other day, probably last week, I was working out really hard. I mean, really, really pressing. I was pushing for performance. And I was stretching and all this pressure started going off my back. It's going away. I don't feel the pain. So I'm getting ready to get off the couch, but when I get up, every time I get up, it would be associated with a moan, right? I would be like, ah, and then I get up. But this time I got up, I gave the moan, but didn't feel any pain. And I realized something about us as humans. We will be out of pain, but still moaning. Still groaning when there's no pain and we are able to walk and stand up fully and functionally go do something. But our mentality keeps us in the moan when our body doesn't feel it, when it's no longer needed. So I started, I had to reprogram myself. I've been reprogramming myself all week. This is insane. I move and I'm used to moaning. I didn't even know I was used to complaining about something I could have dealt with. And even after it's been dealt with, even after the problem no longer exists, even I'm going to break it down. I'm about to slide to the left. Even after your spouse, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, even after everybody's gone, we still moan. When all we got to do, and I tell you, man, I love this brother up here. All we had to do was have somebody tell us like, yo, bro, let's get off our ass. Let's get up. Hey, man, I'll walk with you. You walk with me. Yep. I'll walk with you. We'll walk with we. And we'll walk with me. You'll walk with you. You'll walk with me. And we just kept walking. So in 2 weeks, I've gotten rid of pain that I've dealt with for 2 years. But I'm still moaning. So what I do, you know, I say this to challenge all the men. See, right now, it's a lot of men outside of these relationships, and you're eating, you're laying around, playing video games, you're sitting there depressed, thinking that you want some sex or some form of pleasuring, but you haven't even put yourself in a position to be wanted. You've exposed yourself to be unwanted. You've placed blame on your ex-spouse because of your lack of good leadership. You know, I know because I've done it. I've done it. And then you call your boys and you want to gripe about your woman problems because you can't find one, because you don't know how to get up and look for one, because you don't know how to do right by yourself. You don't know how to do your self-care. You don't know self-respect. You don't know, you've forgotten about self-control. You've forgotten. And this pressure is the reason we lose in male humans. So number one, man, I challenge you, man. If you're looking at me right now, if you anywhere, get out that chair. 14 days, 21 pounds. I'm almost 50 years old. You can't say you can't do it. You got to keep your head up, but know that there's no reason to moan anymore. There's no reason to sit there and be miserable in pain anymore. If you are walking in hurt, then hate your hurt more than what hurt you. Because something needs to get you off your ass to be performing in humanity. And I tell you what, y'all hear me say a lot about humanity because that's what my heart is. If you're sitting on your ass and hurting, you're not getting up. I want you to think about how many people are not being helped because that was your job. How many people are staying in hurt because that was your job to help them out. But you wonder why you suffer. You wonder why you're in pain. You're not helping anybody else out of theirs. Man, you got to get up. I'm calling on freaking leaders now, baby boy. We ain't got time for this. Our children, it's too late. We already behind the 8 ball. Our children are losing. We got to do better. I'm going to pass the baton. What you got on it, Megan?
Of course, I'm not a man, of course, but I do appreciate you guys invited me to the challenge. I haven't been posting much because I'm just not a poster. I'm getting used to it out daily. I've been juicing and I've been feeling good today. I did a walk in a park today. I did about so refreshed. And so I need to come back here and do some work, but I was like, I want to keep working. So I did like another 30 minutes because I was like, I'm doing this for the cause. But I just the side of the woman dealing with her emotions and treating men like this, if you guys don't mind. But I thought about this today and I was thinking to myself, and I was, because I'm not an experienced dater. I was telling Joe this the other day. I'm not an experienced dater. I've made my entire life. I've dated a few guys here and there. I try to, avoid, but I was thinking about the word leader and man leader, and I was like, have I ever dated a true leader? And I had to think about it, and I was like, you know what? And this was a couple of years ago when I met a guy, and I was at a point to where I wanted to be in a relationship or date, and he was such a kind man, gentleman. He was a leader, and I remember into his life wanting to create chaos and on purpose. And it's like, why does he not fight back? Why fight back? Like literally, I want you to get mad. I want you to get angry. I want you to fight back. I would verbally abuse this guy. I would call him all type of names. So one day, like, hey, can you come to my apartment? Because I'm not coming to my place. I'd invite me to my house. And so I went to his place to watch. And so he was like, you want something to eat? And I was like, no, I'm not. He was like, well, I could get you some food now. And then maybe be late over. At least you'll have something. And I was like, I started an argument with him. I was like, why you keep asking me? Like, you need to go sit your, I was like cursing him. I was going off, and he just stood there like, you done? And I was like, nope, I'm not done. You and I cursed him out. Went into the bathroom, and he basically turned on a shower and a water and crying. And I felt so bad. And honestly and truthfully, I felt back out. I didn't feel bad. And I was like, oh, okay, you done crying? I said, you a little, BI. And so he was just so nice. He avoided the situation altogether. And he never argued. And I literally particularly wanted to come into chaos because I was angry at myself. I was going through my own situations, own, healing to do. And, I was mad at men. I was mad at the world. Daddy issues, but I had men issues. And so basically in time, I did become an emotional eater, right? From a woman's perspective. So eating food at his place, I would go and I would, eat, never would eat today, Popeyes, Burger King, McDonald's, things of that nature, to the point to where I started to gain weight. And this wasn't at my highest weight, but based about this, and I was just like, I was the abuser. I was the person that was the emotional eater, the man that wanted to lead, who exemplified all the capabilities of being a leader, and I treated him like crap. And so the reason why I'm saying this is because you may have a lot of men out here who's carrying baggage from other relationships, right? And a baggage for him, and so I didn't speak to him for about 2 weeks. The day he called me, I was like he would call me and I would just like hang up the phone. I would pick up the phone and hang up, pick up the phone and voicemail. I was just picking up the phone and hanging up. And he called and he said, hey, get into my car. What do you want? And he was like, what are you sitting in your car for? I said, because I ran out of gas. Oh, well, go get gas. And I said, well, I don't have any money to put gas in my car. I couldn't even put $5. This man drove an hour and a half in traffic to come and put gas in my car. He filled up my tank. He also bought some gas cards for me and then gave me $100 and asked me if I wanted. And in that moment, I was still mean to this man, and he's so nice. He was just so kind. And I realized that, I had a problem. And so I took food. It was all food. So I had an issue. You thought you had additional ice cream. I would get like the sherbet, I'm talking about the pine. And I would sit there and I would eat like the pineapple sherbet in one setting. And that's what caused, get high blood sugar levels. That's what caused me to basically, it was where like my sugar levels was rising. And that's when I got put in the hospital for 7 days with my sugar levels being so high. But I just wanted to like talk about that because the chaos that we create in a man's life that causes him to have these emotions, especially when a man is doing right by a woman, doing everything he needs to make sure that the woman is taken care of. As women, we're supposed to be, we always say men needs to be, but we need to provide spaces for men to be vulnerable, to have, protecting his heart, protecting his soul, protecting his peace and things to that. That's my 2 cents in it.
What's up, Phenomenal? Can you hear us?
I can. Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Oh. So, starting this challenge made me go so far back that it kind of put me in a place where I was very uncomfortable at first because I always say to people, I'm not a big eater. I don't eat a lot of things. First and foremost, I don't eat red meat. I barely eat meat at all. So how can I have any form of eating disorder when half the time I drink more than I eat food? And then it brought me back to when I was growing up. I remember always loving to eat food. And then it brought me to another place in time when I realized when I stopped eating food because I got
Phenomenal. You breaking up a little bit, Phenomenal.
You guys are not hearing me? Is it better now?
It's better.
I'm hearing people. Let me know if you guys are still hearing me. So I started the challenge. I'm glad that I did. It really showed me that I had a terrible eating disorder that I have to fix. And my eating disorder is that I don't like to eat food.
Oh, we lost her.
Yeah.
We still have you, Perk. You down there? Purpose? I don't know if he's stuck.
Yeah, I think he's stuck.
See him move. Perk. Well, I'll run with it since we're having a little issue. When you said that about how you said, Megan, with you, that pressure that you was putting on this man, and the word that you said was mean. It's one thing I always said to myself, I never, ever want a mean woman in my life ever again. I do not like a mean person. Now, some people think mean is the B word, but that's not mean. Um, mean is, ugh, it's a nasty feeling. And in my relationship, my ex, she would, it was a very deceptive relationship. And, I am a component of never speaking negatively about the people that you were with. I don't think that's right. And you shouldn't do that. But right now, I'm just going to tell you the facts of what happened. And there was a lot of deception. There was my ex would be gone 3 weeks out of the month, get home, and be missing 12 to 16 hours on the day she was back. Right. And
wow, okay.
these things where it was just, even a strong-minded man like myself, and I had 4 great guys that I worked with, 3 great guys. Well, 3 and 1 was a tag along, but 4 great guys I worked with, and what we did, they were family men, strong men, much better leaders than I ever was, and I learned a lot of my leadership off of these men while dealing with a mean woman. Now on the outside, people didn't see her mean, or even, and I it was so crazy. I went to her father, I went to the pastor, man. I just went to people trying to, like, I think, something's wrong, But what was happening was I was so focused on her wealth and her health and her welfare that I didn't even see myself deteriorating. I was slowly deteriorating to the point that I went to nothing. And the crazy part is, when it comes down to a lot of men, when we get to that point, usually there's no one there to help us.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough. We don't have the resources. And even when it comes to a man, it's like, myself, hey man, just deal with it. You're a strong guy. You can't let that little woman can't bother you. Physically, she can't bother me, but mentally, she can have me destroy myself physically.
Yes.
Mentally, these things. So even I literally just had this conversation with a lady not too long ago, and she asked me. She said, "Calry, why wouldn't you date me?" And I said, "Wow, that's real. I've never had anybody ask me that just straight up, And I said, "Well, because being with you, I would have lost the security of the fortification of my mentality. And I cannot let anyone take the fortification of my mentality. I don't care who it is. I get Halle Berry mixed with Beyonce mixed with Gladys Knight. Nobody can get this. I've worked too hard, and I know that once you're in here, if I don't keep my mentality fortified, men take their lives 3 times more than women. And most of it's due to relationship trauma.
Yep.
And they don't talk about it. I'm just letting you know.
They don't talk about it. Yeah. Yeah. And that was me purposely doing relationship trauma. And I was like, why? I wanted him to get mad. I was like, why does he not you need to get mad. I want to see you mad. And he would never budge. So, but it was verbal, but I know that hurt more than anything. So, I'm not that person to go, but I had a conversation with, because he was still calling up until I changed. Still had like a good friendship. I apologize to him. He's married now, so he's doing good. But I apologize to him, because I was like, look, I just wanted to make sure that if he needed anything, if I can help him with anything, there for him, at this moment. and just told him that like I wasn't in a state to be in a relationship I was off at that time. So, you know, that's the reason why I treated him that way, and I held myself to accountability. And so I know we were talking about this, that a lot of, you know, the productivity issues that men have is because of chaos and trauma in their homes that we cause as women.
You back, Phenomenal?
I am.
Oh yeah, you sound great now.
Actually, 3 questions.
Yay.
I got thunderstorm. Come here.
Okay. What do you say?
I think he's showing us somebody else. Go ahead, Phenomenal. Do your thing. Show us how bad you are tonight.
So when I started this challenge, I thought I didn't need it. Like, I was like, I don't have an eating addiction. I barely eat food. Like, half the time I'm drinking water or some juice or taking a shot or of something, but I don't have an eating disorder. One, I'm not overweight. I found my weight to be perfectly fine until I started looking at my everyday movements when it came onto food. I'm a hairstylist. And then I realized that whenever each of my coworkers are eating, they would just come over to me and they would be feeding me food. So I would be eating from 4 different people right around the clock because they eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I would still come home and I would still cook and I would eat. And then I would wake up in the early hours of the morning and I would feel hungry and I would go snack on something. And I started to watch it and I'm like, I really eat more than I think I do. I don't feel it, but I'm eating a lot. I don't eat breakfast because I'm not a breakfast person. But once it touches 11 going forward, I always have something munching on. And it's never anything healthy. It's not anything that's going to give my body nutrients. Most of the time, I'll go to work and I'll be like, okay, I'm fasting today until I have dinner. And I'll take my ginger shots with turmeric or something of that sort. But then in between my fasting, my boss will just walk over with a fries or a chicken wing and just stuck it in my mouth. She's like, you've been working all day, have this. Or she'll make a sandwich and put it to the side. And as soon as I'm finished with a client, I'll go over there and I'll bite 2 bites out of it. And then when I started the challenge and I started to cut all of that, I can literally say I am on what? I think day 12 or 13. I lost almost 3 inches from my waist. And losing those 3 inches from my waist, it's so crazy how now I can see that I was doing so many things wrong. I always procrastinate. I'm an exercise. I have a gym membership for over a year. I will go for a whole month and then stop.
Wow.
And I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and I start working out. And I see the changes in my body. When I just started working out, I was like, I'm afraid to have a 6-pack because I'm going to look, I don't like the 6-pack look. I'm going to look hard. Now I find myself wanting to have that. Now I'm looking at myself and I'm like, girl, you looking good. One thing I can say is never tell yourself that you're not doing something or you don't, or somebody else is doing it unless you really sit down and really look into things that you're doing, because sometimes we procrastinate because we don't understand what's going on and we just hear a word, and because we feel like we don't embody that word or that statement, we sidetrack it. But if we really sit down and look into ourselves.
Oh.
Use my internet power. Come back. My internet power. Oh,
Man.
she always does that. She leaves you right at that tip, and then she won't go away. I'm looking at one of the comments over here. Which she says, Heather says, that's how it was in my marriage. I spent so much time trying to save him, I didn't realize I was drowning. Sometimes the man, these men, it's a lot of broken men out here. It's a lot of broken men.
I got one for
go ahead. Oh, you back, Perk?
But the broken men don't think that they're broken. I can't.
Uh-oh, Perk, you on? You on, Perk?
I think because every time Phenomenal comes back in, he like we lose him. You notice that? Like we lose the reception?
Yeah, but that shouldn't. They're in two different spots. That shouldn't help it or hurt it.
Okay.
Think.
You hear me?
We can hear you now, brother.
I'm wrapping up in a minute because we're gonna wrap it up in a minute because we're gonna wrap it up in a minute because a storm just came in my life.
Oh, he's. I think he's saying he's having some electrical issues. Sounds like he said his lights was flickering. He might be in and out. He probably got bad reception. We have it. I'm over here. It's raining over here on us too. But yes, I think Perp's having a little bad reception right now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
It's nah, Perp, you back and forth.
Okay.
it's the weather.
Yeah. Yeah, he's having some weather issues. But what were you saying, Megan? What were you saying? Let's keep it moving. We all here, so we're gonna keep the show moving. Right.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that on purpose. You guys have been married. I'm more than sure other women have had more experience in relationships that I have. But my question was, you men out here, but a lot of men who are broken say that they're not broken. So what determines a broken man? Especially, oh, I'm healed. I've been through therapy. I'm on my purpose. But they're actually they're healed and they're not.
Well, a lot of guys, it's a lot of guys they haven't faced their exposure with people, right? And your brokenness is really found when you're exposed to other people.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you're in a relationship will always expose the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say this man, he I'm sorry guys, I sprained my wrist. His man, let's say he doesn't like driving, right? Now he gets in a relationship, he never tells the woman that he doesn't like driving. But she's got to go places, and she's like, "Well, you can do this. Well, can you drive?" And he makes up things to get out of it, and that's called the mask.
The mask, yeah.
see, the mask makes up things so you can look good, and so people don't get to see your face. That's what the mask does, right? And then when the mask, when the mask starts dropping, um, the mask drops and it exposes the man for who he really is, right? That man that has to say and be comfortable with, I don't drive, and understand that this is who he is. He also has to understand, like, hey, you know what if I do have to drive? Because what if people depend on me to drive? Can I have the courage to be something I'm not? And most of the time, a broken man does not have to be he doesn't have the courage to get outside of his exposure and his shame. That's one of the biggest indications of a broken man. He just doesn't have the courage to get out of his shame. He just won't. And he'll blame it on other people. He'll blame it on that woman that he was with. He'll blame it on that ex-wife. He'll blame it on that ex-girlfriend, his job. He'll blame it on his weight. He will blame it on anything. You can tell even broken people in general are natural blamers of shame.
Yeah.
Because they don't want anybody to know. Or you hear the other version where people tell me all the time, how do you know? I don't want to be hurt anymore. When am I gonna be ready? When you ready to be hurt?
Yeah. Ready to
I
be
mean,
hurt.
this world is a revolving circle of life. But you can do better things. It's like, why would I go in the ring with Tyson if I haven't trained myself to be able to fight Tyson? Now, I could have the ego to where I can win, but I need to put something behind that. And most of the time, broken men haven't put any kind of morals, knowledge, or self-control behind who they are to create love and life for other people. And it's still, it still dwindles down to poor leadership. It always dwindles down to poor leadership. I don't care what anybody says. You look at any marriage right now. This is what therapists won't tell you. This is what your pastor won't tell you. This is what people won't tell you when you go to relationship counseling. They never say you two are poor leadership and managers of your relationship. Can you imagine if that was said? You are a poor leader to your husband, and you're a poor leader to your wife. You're a poor leader of self. How about I'm going to take it a little further? It might be a little painful. And you're a piss poor leader to your children because you're showing poor leadership.
Exactly.
This is outrageous. We are getting too far deep into our emotional content, especially as men, and we can't control it. And for some reason, generally speaking, the women don't want to hear it, even though they say, tell me your feelings. When I tell you my feelings don't come with the lawnmower response to shred it up. This is, I'm telling you, men have a small window of speaking time of their feelings. It's a very small window. And when they get rolling, they'll stay rolling for a little bit. But as soon as they interrupt it, as soon as you interrupt that man with anything that defends what you asked about, that man is done.
Done.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this will help all women. This will help you relate this. And here's a simple thing. Let's say that man saying, the woman says, well, Do you like how I clean the house? How do you feel about it? Now that man gets an opportunity to say whatever he wants to say because you asked him his opinion. But women, generally speaking, don't understand what opinions are from a man. And as soon as he says, like, well, let's say he tells exactly how he feels. Well, you said you cleaned the house, but you didn't vacuum the carpet. It's dirty clothes by the front door. It's still dishes in the sink. I mean, I don't think you did a good job. And instead of saying these words, I'm gonna tell you the best words you can say in a relationship, especially when you know it. Don't apologize. Say I'm wrong. I was wrong for not washing these dishes and doing anything and asking you how you felt about the house. Little did I know that was called gaslighting. Trying to change your mindset about something that I got going on. And a lot of people don't know gaslighting comes in a lot of forms. And people are gaslighted. And the men, then they start the defense. Well, I was getting ready to clean it, but I didn't. What? You were getting ready to clean it, but you didn't. These kind of comments, gaslighting comments, and men, we don't want to argue about it anymore. And now that men are being separated from women, with all of these single men out here, single men not fresh off divorce, so they feeling pain. So I don't know if you women understand that. These men are in pain. And when they come off of most divorces, they coming off of 50% less than what they had without a house, no toilet paper, no plates, no dish detergent, no washing machine, no dryer. They coming out ground level as an older person. If you lost everything, wouldn't you have? Don't you think that's why most people have mental issues anyway? Because of loss.
Yeah.
Look how much these men, 80% of women are filing for divorce and making it happen. These are losses, even if it's just the woman alone. The mental frustration. And the men, we don't even know how to talk to one another. We don't comfort each other. His purpose, he got a question for you, Phenomenal. How can a woman help an emotional man?
Oh, wow. Woo. An emotional man. How can
You got this.
woman? Oh, Lord. A lot of these females are not going to like what I'm about to say.
Girl,
Stop thinking that it's always about you. It ain't always about you. And if you're dealing with a man who has emotional problem, you got to know how to step back from being in the limelight, making it all about you. You got to learn how to cope with someone who will react to almost every and anything in his everyday life. You got to know how to be that man's peace. If you don't know that P word, it ain't gonna work, because an emotional man needs that one main thing. He needs peace. He needs to know that he can count on you to be vulnerable and you will not throw it back at him for no reason at all. He gotta know that if he falls down and bump his head, you can stand up for him and be a leader when he needs it. You cannot be an emotional woman who does not know how to lead and be with an emotional man, because you both are just going to fall on your face. You cannot be a woman who wants to always be the one getting and not giving. If you're the type of person who is always about receiving and not giving, then you're gonna that's gonna be very hard. So my answer to that question, you got to be peace to that man. You got to be his strength when he needs it. You got to be his nurturer when he needs it. You have to embody all the qualities of a woman to an emotional man. And unfortunately, I can say this, 80% of the females nowadays, we don't know what it takes to be around such a person because we were never taught how to be that woman at all. It the system of I'm choosing my words wisely here. Whew. We need to unlearn most of the things that we learned, or not even fully unlearn it, but add to it and recognize the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what needs to stay and what needs to go. I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandmother and my grandfather would go at it so much. But one thing my grandmother would always tell me, I would never let my husband come in this house to nothing but peace. When he comes home, she knows if she could have a conversation with him or not. Or if she just needed to put his food on the table, have him take a shower, eat, and go to bed. One thing I can genuinely say, she gave that man peace no matter what.
Amen. Yeah.
So that's my answer. Be a man's peace. Even if he's not emotional, be his peace. Because that's what he's looking for in his woman.
Well, you know, with you saying that, you know, this is, and I'm coming, we're gonna hit the hard topic, right? Most women ask for a man to be emotional. Tell me how you feel. Tell me these things. But my question is to you ladies, is that really what you want? Do you
Yeah.
really want an emotional man to lead you?
Well, that's not the reason why most females want that man to be emotional. Most females want that man to be emotional because they can manipulate his emotions and use it against him. It's used
Mhm.
as a weapon and
Yeah.
not really as a way to find the compatibility between both persons. It's used as a weapon, and a lot of women won't take accountability for that. They'll say, no, it's just that he's too soft, his emotions are too this and that. But they use it. That's one of the main reasons why females nowadays ask for men to be emotional for them, because it's like you're giving them ammunition to use back against you. And I've seen it over and over again. And I used to be one of those females also. My ex hurt me, and what I did when he hurt me was gather information from him and used it back against him. So it's like, and I always told him, I want you to just talk to me, just tell me what's going on. And I got him down to his weakest points. And as soon as I caught him there, I took everything he said to me. And as soon as he would do something, right there, I would hit him where it hurts the most. Because I have already obtained all the information I needed. So a lot of people would be like, oh, why would you say that? No, that's not the reason why. We need to stop lying to ourselves.
Mm.
That mask is falling off, and eventually you're going to be shown for who you are. But most females ask for an emotional man because she can use him, she can manipulate him to do the things that she wanted to do and be the person she wants to be, not caring about that other person's feelings in any way, shape, or form.
Mm. Okay. I, I, I we'll talk more about that. I really like that.
I have a
But we
question.
got a couple questions. Go ahead, Megan. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, I have a question. I was just sitting here thinking about this, because I'm seeing this more and more on. You have these women that were they're chaotic in real life and social media, so they're chaotic in real life, but they come into I'll use TikTok. So basically, what these women do is they come into these men's lives, you know, the men in a live and they in a panel of men, and they take in all the quote unquote, they want to learn about men. They want to, you know, be better women. In all actuality, I think that they're using that information to use it against men or to manipulate the situation to get these men. So my question is, do you think that a lot of women, today's women, they use these different, especially like I said, within TikTok, in these men's boxes, they use a they use this to basically get closer to men, and they're not really interested in these men, but they're getting what they said against them in the future.
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
they do. I understand what you're saying. So,
Okay.
and I watch a lot of these TikTok videos, and not only TikTok, but it's something that I see on a wider base, where if I go on my Instagram and I see persons on lives, I do watch a lot of lives and so on and so forth. But this is what I see happening nowadays. Women, we're saying we want a man who's going to lead us, who's going to be the head of the house, who's going to, you know, do what he's supposed to do where a woman is concerned, because now women are getting to a point that they're tired.
Mm-hmm.
They no longer want what they fought for so many years ago, which was equality.
Yeah.
The only equality they want is for the man to work and give them his earnings. Because I'm in the house and I'm cooking and I'm cleaning, and most of the time half of these females who are asking for that cannot do anything. They still have to eat out. They still have to have a caretaker come in to clean the house and take care of the kids because they do not know how to do it. But they want all these great attributes to come from a man, but they have nothing to give the man. So what I see happening now is that they're gathering all these information about how men are, and then they go back and use it against them by saying, this man wants to lead me, but I ain't up for that. I don't want nobody hovering over me. They twist the information to their oh man, them heifers. They twist that information so, and I see some of that, I'm like, oh my God, you're so good. But men are now realizing how great women are when it comes on to manipulating, especially the ones who have been hurt over and over and over again, and they refuse to heal from that hurt. What they've done now is turn that hurt into something I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And now they use it against them. So yes, they're going to jump into the live and be like, I want a man to lead me and stand in his authority. I want him to be the head of the household. And I'm this and I can do all of this. And then when you walk through the door and you give her all that information, all they do is just turn it around and turn it into ammunition all over again. Because if you realize, that's why a lot of these females can go now and say, I don't want no man to come lead me. Every man nowadays said they want to be a leader, and make up your mind. It's either you want it or you don't want it. If you don't want it, step aside. Somebody else does. There is someone out there who wants that valuable information. And now some men, they no longer want to tell you that they want to lead you. Now men are saying, oh, I am the authority. It's either you're going to take, now they're pushing it at you. It's either you're going to take it or you're going to leave it. They no longer want to have those great conversations with us anymore. because now they realize that they're being manipulated and they're not taking it.
Yep. Yeah. I just wanted your thoughts because I'm so I watch a lot of stuff. I don't say anything. I'm quiet usually. I don't go on a lot of lives. I've been watching lately. I'm just observing, and I'm like, I peep game. I said.
But we'll wait for Phenomenal to come back. We have another question. Somebody asked me, how did I fight my food addiction? How did I fight my food? I'm going to tell you exactly how to fight your food addiction. And I know you might not want to hear this. This is the easiest and best method of all time. Don't have it in the house.
Yep.
Take it out the house.
Take it out the house.
Make it unaccessible. If you have ice cream in the refrigerator, you probably gonna touch it. Buy things that are good for you. To stop. This is what I did. Like, I walked through the store. First, I did an inventory of house. I'll do it. And I tell people do this with their life when they're changing relationships and everything. Do an inventory of self. So I went through my house, went through the refrigerator, found all the crap that I didn't need. And then I had a mini funeral because I cried as I let a lot of the stuff that I eat and snack on go. It was just a mini funeral. And as soon as I put it in the trash, I didn't just put it in the trash because I know me. I know me. I took the trash all the way to the dumpster to make sure I got rid of everything. And I was like, and I came back in the house, and it was so funny. I'm sitting there like, I think it was the second night. I was sitting there and I was like, I'm hungry.
I go get the trash. Stop through. Grab y'all in the trash can.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I wanna eat something.
Go to trash can.
Let me tell you, because I'm straight. I see Calorie. I think you guys, y'all say I'm a great guy and I do great things, but Calories human too. So that's why this challenge was. It kind of, next time I see Purpose, he ain't online, so I'll just do that. Yeah, so I'm all up in the freezer, right? I open the freezer. When you open it, and so here's the question: how did I fight the food addiction? When I opened that freezer and didn't see the ice cream, the beautiful thing is that stores close early.
Oh my God!
I'm not lying to you. See, I'm gonna tell you straight up facts. I'm gonna tell you the truth because a lot of people don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to do this. The store closed early. I'm sitting there like thinking to myself, pure crackhead dopamine fix, thinking like, yo, you think Wawa sell ice cream? Like, I don't really want to try the Wawa. And then I'm like, and then I'm sitting here like, you know what? It's late. I should call Joe and wake his ass up and tell him I'm hungry. Right? And then I'm like, I sit back again. I'm like, you know what? You addicted, yo. You are sitting here wanting a dopamine fix that you don't need.
Don't need.
So then I started I started replacing things for the things that we need. Like if you get an apple and you slice the apple when you feel that craving of sugar, the apple has enough sugar. And if it's cold and in the refrigerator, you slice the apple, it has enough sugar, sweetness, the crunch, the flavor. Less than half, a quarter of an apple will do you good, and you won't even need what you want. And you get it, you start reprogramming yourself. I'm sorry, my wrist is messed up and I keep using habit. But you keep reprogramming yourself. You reprogram your mind to say, look, because like I said, I called Joe. I was like, look, man, it's not ice cream, it's food. Like people
Yeah.
don't want to admit it. Like they try to be addicted to a piece of the product. That's like saying, I'm not addicted to all the crack. I'm addicted to the corners of the crack. So if you break off the corner of the crack, that I get high for that. No, man. I think we're really addicted to food. We do way too much of it. We're too big. We're not in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not here for the future. We're not here for our people. I mean, it's 21 pounds. I didn't even think I had 21 pounds to lose because I was chilling. I did enough to just stay body habit is okay. I can fit in my clothes, everything good. But I wasn't thinking about my movements and getting up. Like my father, 88 years old, with no muscle tissue, no muscle tone. And I got to take care of him. I have to take care of a man that can't take care of himself. And I don't want to leave that up to my children.
Wow.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to leave that up to anybody. As a matter of fact, I don't want to leave it up to the woman I'm with. And so I choose a woman that chooses health. That has nothing to do with body shaming or anything like that. I choose health.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not healthy, then I don't want to take care of you. I don't want you taking care of me. I want us to live together. If we have to take care of each other, then we are prepared to. We'll be ready instead of tense, like Bruce Lee says. But I'm gonna tell you one thing women don't like for me to say. This may hurt. This is a stinging statement. A woman asked me, like, why don't you? Well, do you have a problem with heavy women or big women or large, whatever word they did try to use, curvy women? I said no.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with unhealthy women. And then the other thing is, and this is the big part that's gonna sting a little bit. Just like a woman gets to choose her car, her man, her this, men gets to choose their car, their woman, and this.
Amen.
We get to choose. We don't have to deal with a woman that's yelling, arguing, that's going to affect my mental capability and have me filling my mouth, filling my face hole, have me big. Then you leave me, and now I got to recover from all of this to come back. We don't have to do that anymore. The veil has been lifted. We don't have to deal with this. Okay, here's one for the women. Here's one, Megan. And then we'll wait for Phenomenal to come in. I'm about to get some water, lose my voice. What can a woman do to deal with emotional eating when she's on her monthly?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm dealing now. I mean, I'm not emotional. I'm breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got a little echo. Go ahead, Mama.
For me, I'm not an emotional eater. Have cravings during my cycle, which I have now. But typically, what I do, I crave a lot of fruit. I crave a lot of. So for me, instead of like, I don't keep, like I already say, I don't keep that stuff in my house, right? So I cookies and things to that house. I do keep like nuts and seeds, things to that nature, because it protein, because I'm vegan. But basically, what I do is I freeze like to snack around that time. I freeze grapes, and I eat grapes because of the sweetness. I freeze about 10. I put them in like a little, like a thing, wash them off good, and I freeze them. And it's what I snack on. It's healthy. I got my I got my sweetness. I sit there, I eat it like it's a Snicker, but it's really not. It's great. And another thing too, I'm not a soda drinker, but if something, say for instance, sometimes for me, eat the grapes. What I do is I make grape juice, and I'll just drink the juice. I blend some grapes, and I put like some lime juice in a blender, and I blend it, and I satisfy my craving as well. So, like Kyra said, I don't like to keep sweet things in the house. I'm going to eat the whole bag, because there was one time in my life where I would eat a pack of Snickers, 10-pack of Snickers, the little small Snickers, like, and then go back and eat then go back and eat the Baby Ruths, and then go back and eat a pint of ice cream, all in one setting. And then I would get a bag of chips, a big old bag of chips, and eat that, the big old bag of the, and then like try to like scrambling through my cake for like some food. Like I'm like, girl, you just sit up there and ate 30 dang on candy bars, little small pint of ice cream, and a big old bag of chips. So I don't buy that stuff. So I would say for you, wheat fruit like kiwi, peaches are in season now. Pineapple is like one of the best fruits ever. Cut off some watermelon, keep that, make some water, keep healthy snacks in your house, and so that's gonna satisfy your cravings.
Okay. And we keep losing Phenomenal. She'll be back. I'd love to ask her that question. I have one guy. He says, "My wife argues when I don't feed her. Help me, please."
Sorry, I never been married.
Well, that question is kind of broad. So I'm gonna give it quite a little stab. I'll give it a 1-2 punch if I can. But this the deal. You know, at some point you gotta have some real sit downs with I call them business meetings when you have your wife or your mate or whatever. You need to have a business meeting and come to the table, but be ready with what you have. Because usually a business meeting is quid pro quo, something for something, And with your wife, you can't if she just wants you to feed her, bro, you got to lead her. Now, number one thing, I suggest you read some leadership magazine, read some leadership book, because you need to know how to expose yourself and talk to this woman in a state of authority to say, baby, look, this ain't healthy. This is not working out for our family. I had this conversation with my father. 88 years old, all the dude eats is candy all day. And Jack Daniel.
Is that alcohol?
Yeah, him and JD Coop. And I was like, I said, Pops, instead of arguing with him, I sat down with him. And I said, Pops, look, man, I'm not coming down on you. I'm not shaming you. It's just, I don't have anybody but you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure you live. And if you can help me, this is what I'm doing. Just help me out if you can. But here's where you can help me. And then I started leading my father at 88 years old. And all of a sudden, he started following. Now, I didn't think you could teach an old dog new tricks, but I was wrong. So I will let you know that the dude that asked that question, man, you will have to understand the process of leading that woman and leading your house. Because number one, for some strange reason, I feel like she probably eats because you do too.
They probably sit up there and watch movies and eat together.
So if you help her by showing her, a leader shows the crew how to march. The leader shows these things. So you show her, cook for her, learn how to cook better food. You do it yourself. But if that's your wife, man, I hate to tell you, man, you got work to do.
Mm-hmm.
You already purchased the cow. Drink the milk, baby. you know. But work on it. You're not
Let me
giving me anything else than eating, so I can't go on.
let
Here's
me
another.
add to that.
Go ahead, Mom.
Yeah.
Find out if there is something that she's suppressing with food, because there can be a reason why she eats the way she does. It might be that one thing that calms down something else. So she uses it as a cover up. So find a way, like when you're ready to give her some food, ask her questions like, so how was your day? Is everything okay? You want to talk about anything? Just find different ways. Do it playfully. You can maybe say, hey, we're going to have a games night. Put out her favorite food, and while playing games, you ask her questions that would make her feel uncomfortable if you just asked her out of the blues. And then, this is the only time I will tolerate this sentence: be careful of how you speak to her when you're asking her these questions, because you're trying to figure out if there's a reason why she's eating the way she does. And if you approach it in certain ways, she might not open up to you. So
I
that
agree with that, because that will be an ego hit. So know that, my friend, that when you attack anybody's addiction or habits, you're attacking their ego. So be prepared and know your softness, and know when to hold them and fold them. Know when to be quiet and walk away, because it may not be time. No, it's always a what, when, how, where, and why when you're addressing somebody's ego. Believe that.
and
Mm-hmm.
and
But
she might not open up that same time. But when you do ask her those questions, give her time. If she doesn't answer them at that appointed time, trust me, she will. But don't ever ask her those questions again.
here's here's another quick one, and then okay. Oh shucks, thought I had a screen that I could hold on a second. Let me look at this question. Okay, how can you date with the food addiction?
Oh,
How can you date with a food addiction? I'll go first, since you gave me an old lord. This is the deal. It's the same thing. It's a oh my god, I can't think of a name right now. Well, Dina. I can't think of her screen name, but Dina, she's usually in here. And the thing is, Dina says, "Look, man, you have 30 days to go plant based before you mess with me. 30
Oh yeah,
days." Now,
yeah.
but what Dina's doing, and I'm just gonna put it on the street. Dina is leading her healthy future self and future relationship for the compatibility of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't see. The thing is, like, let me make sure, because I wanna make sure I get those words right. Oh, come on.
I think it's
But when you actually date with a food addiction, before you go out, find out if you compatible. Because if they eating like crazy and you don't, this you incompatible. And then you're gonna go out there, you're gonna feed your face, and you probably, as a man, this is what we do. You know that woman will be like, go ahead and eat it. Boy, stop being a punk. Go ahead and eat it. And then well, it's just one time. Go ahead and have a cheat day. No, you a cheater. I'm not a cheater. You want me to already go into a state of deception before I go into the relationship. Bruh, peep game, man. You be compatible. Know what you're gonna do before you even get involved with that bull. That's how you do it. If you got a food addiction, you don't date somebody that already doesn't know they have one. You got to look differently, or you lay your ground rules. And if those ground rules, look, you have boundaries at the beginning. Your boundaries show like, hey, are we compatible? Once you're compatible, you don't need boundaries anymore because you don't have to worry about that woman bringing ice cream into the house because she's compatible with you. She don't have to worry about that woman taking you to McDonald's. She'll take you to, I don't know, Vegans or Us or something. I don't know.
No, Kyra.
I'm just saying, I don't know all these different restaurants. I'm a cooker. I cook. So, you know, I know all y'all out there vegan. So let me.
You could have said the juice bar.
It would be hard for me to date someone with a really bad eating disorder, because if you tell me you're hungry, I'm gonna cook you food. And I can say that out loud because I love to cook. But then how I would help someone with an eating disorder if I was dating someone is, if I'm to cook, I'm gonna make something healthy.
Yeah.
Like when I just started my journey, I found myself drinking this mixture because I don't drink dairy milk. So I'll drink like the hemp milk or almond milk. And I would blend the oats with that and my sea moss. And that would literally full me up. So I would now, if I am really going to be with this person, like this person's my person, I'm going to have to pick up healthy ways of eating, because now I know that I'm dealing with someone with a food addiction. You can eat, but then it depends on what you're going to eat. And I can't say to myself, I'm going to eat this, but you can't eat it. So now I would have to break myself into the habit of eating healthy so that whosoever I'm dating will feel comfortable when he's around me, because then that's a sacrifice that I have to make if I really want to be with this person. I don't want to know that I am feeding you something that's not good for you just because you have an addiction. At least if I'm giving you something, it's something to help you to not gain too much weight or to not get sickly. It's something that's going to be healthy for you and help you in the future. So, but it would be kind of hard for me because I love this stuff. So it would be a challenge.
Like, here's a question for the women, like, and maybe you can take this one, Megan. How is a woman can I tell my friend I have a food addiction and we go out every weekend? I'll say the man's side once one of y'all say the woman's side.
Hold on.
Person for me.
How as a woman can I tell my friend I have a food addiction because we go out every weekend?
I'm honest. I try to be honest. I would go answer for me. It's to, it's to sit and just have a vulnerable conversation with them, an honest conversation with me. Just have an honest conversation with them and just tell them, tell them your history. I mean, you want to be honest in a situation because you don't want this to come up months down the line, whatever, however long you guys are together and it becomes a problem. You're creating a problem, right? So it's important, especially with things like that, is to be, just have that honest, them. It's okay to be uncomfortable. I mean, you're going into a situation to where you act. And so I think it's honesty is always the best policy for me, like that. So I would just say, sit down, talk to that person, just let them know your history, your struggle with and how they can help you, because they may say, okay, well, we don't have to eat out every week. Maybe we can meet up, or or we can meet up here and do some yoga together, or take a dance class. They may have other suggestions. So just be honest. Okay.
There you go. On a man's side, I would say it like this: if I was the man that you were dating, I would want you to tell me your problem, because most of the time your man really loves you. I know you guys don't feel that way sometimes, but we want you to be happy. We will do whatever. But I gotta wrap it around what Megan said as well. Put a plan together. Don't expect for this man to be your food plan. Don't expect for this man to be your fooditarian. Now, if you let him know he can help you through it, and you let him know how he can help you, but it still goes back to the same thing. Take the food out of the refrigerator. Take these things away. If you're going out every weekend, stop. Tell him you cooked already.
Yeah.
Think of something else. You can lead from the rear. Everything can be managed and led. So those kind of things, you got to be straight up, because who are you protecting, him or you? Because if you don't take care of your weight, you're not going to be protecting him. And if you don't take care of your weight, you're not going to be protecting you. High blood pressure, diabetes, obesity runs rampant in the United States. And a lot of it is based off of mental health concerns. So, you got to fortify your character, fortify who you are, fortify your mentality. And if your man can't deal with that and it's affecting your health, you may not be compatible. Because if I'm getting with somebody and they're going to cause me to die, that's the true definition of toxic. It's something that is harmful to you.
Yep.
So I'm let me go to the next one. We have questions flying out of here, so I'm reading them. Oh, here's one. Here's a good one. How can I start to change when food is all around me? Good one. We still going back. Okay, I love this one. Was me.
Yeah.
Okay, I worked in the medical field, and these jokers eat all day long. I mean, from 0 o'clock in the morning to 0 o'clock in the morning. It's food somewhere on some counter, some cakes, pies, or just food. Okay, candy. So what I did learn to do was, when you had all food, this is the biggest thing. You want to help yourself with any food addiction because food is my addiction. It's not just a piece of food. Food is the addiction. The first thing you want to do is portion control. And when you start working on your portion control, because that's what happens. Our brain says, naturally, I put 3 scoops of macaroni on here. Well, my portion control is going to say, you know what? I'm only going to put a scoop. I'm going to put a scoop of this. I'm going to put a scoop. I'm going to lower what I'm eating. I'm a start portioning control. Like you go to McDonald's. I mean, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that go to McDonald's and all these places, and you order all this food, and then you don't eat it. You ever notice how you don't eat all that food?
No.
You ever notice sometimes that we have food and we throw it away? But how about you just order the small fries? I mean, I don't eat that stuff. But I know how an addiction works. So they, just pull you off the drug, you're going to go crazy. But sometimes if you know how to portion control, let me slow this down. I don't need the large drink or the super size. Let me get a medium, and then let me put some water in there next time after I'm finished. Or see, the thing is, it's a habitual nature that we have in ourselves that we don't want to control. Self-control is a reprogrammable nature. You can control yourself in anything. It's just a matter of saying, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
But I will start when there's food all around you. If you're an eater, start with your portion control. And then this is one of the best things that goes on. You can tell people, you can find teammates. You make people your teammate. Like, You tell them like, look, if y'all see me eat something, I'm gonna give everybody $1. Because you don't want to give them $1. Tell them you'll give them 5. Tell them you'll give them 10. And have people on your team to say, hey, that's not for you. Tell people you're doing this to be something greater. Just like we're doing on this cast. I didn't come on here I really came on to support Purpose. I really did. And now I'm up here, I'm like, man, Purpose supported me. He pushed me like, hey, bro, look, you know, you straight. He even said at the beginning, like, Cal, I don't know what he gonna do. He already thin. No, it wasn't. I was fat. Yeah, I said the F word.
Yeah.
People don't want to say the F word anymore. Fat. I was fat. Had an ab belly. Had 2 abs right here in a bagel. It ain't cute. But that's not what I wanted. I even had women that I was with. Somebody asked that question. A woman told me, like, I like a man that's got a belly. I was like, I don't want to be that man with a belly. I'm not gonna be your man with a belly. I don't want that. Well, that's what I like. Well, then I think we may not be compatible. Because my future me says big belly. I have crushed spinal bones in my back. So that means a big belly is going to cause me to have pain for the rest of my life to satisfy you. And you could leave me after you see the big belly. And I can't walk around. So let's go. Let's get to one more, and then we're gonna roll out of here. As a man, I only have 2 options: argue or eat. Hold on. I'm gonna read this question slow because I'm glad this is our last question because I love y'all women have no idea the things I hear from men on a daily basis. Okay, and it's outrageous. They super funny, and me and Purpose, we're gonna do a show on funny things men say that y'all don't even think that we think about. Okay, it's hilarious. All right, now this is a piece of it. This one a little bit, and then we're gonna try to close out after this. But as a man, I only have 2 options: argue or eat. This is a man. Just seeing that first part of the question, I'm sitting there thinking like, he don't want to go home. He is mentally fatigued. The first thing he said, argue. He didn't say eat and argue. He said argue and eat. So what he's doing is replacing himself, that argument, with food.
Wow.
He's getting that dopamine hit, like, hey, you know what? I've listened to all of the mess. My ego's been crushed. I'm getting dismissed. I'm getting yelled at. And you know what? I'm just sitting there by myself because now she's gone. And this is probably how you feel, brother. Now she's gone. I've been there. I know. Now she's out the room. Let me go ahead and eat this 20-gallon bowl of ice cream and look at a movie that I don't even like, that I saw 12,000 times already. Right? So, peep game, how can you change this? Brother man. Number 1, you have to get to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you unsure who you are. But let me tell you who you are right now. You are a person that leads an argument. Now, I'm the kind of guy that I'm a truth teller, and sometimes it stings. But this is what I do in the coaching arena. You're a true. You see. You an arguer because you're arguing with her. And that argument is supporting your dopamine habit, because dopamine is the chemical that we get from eating, sex, or any of these fighting. We get these dopamine rushes. So how can you change this? Brother, get out the house. Figure out who you are. Go for some walks. Instead of putting something in your mouth, put something in your head. Read a book. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. When you go help other people, you'll start helping yourself. And when you get out that house, you don't have to eat outside that house. You don't have to be caught up in the mess. And you got to learn this. You start understanding self-control. Because right now, all I can see here, I see these words and I see a man that his mentality is not fortified because he's eating after the situation. I argue and I eat. I'm hurt and I eat. I'm distressed and I eat. It's time to get up, baby boy. Now, these are the times where you can, like this group right here, where we put on this program, where you can, we're 14 days in, brother. Jump on in.
Yes.
We're doing 90 days. This could be your day one. But get up. There's certain things you should do as a human, as a man, especially. Whatever time you get up in the morning, get up an hour earlier now and go for a walk. Get your body and your mind right. The first thing you should do should never be TikTok, Facebook, IG. It should be something that plants in your mind, something that fuels your purpose.
Yeah.
You drink a big glass of water first thing in the morning. That helps your colon. Warm water, not cold.
Mm-hmm.
And you start moving things. The key to life is moving. Now, this might sound kind of gross, but it's scientific. Your colon, the reason you go to the bathroom, number 2, is a movement called peristalsis movement. And the colon just moves like this. It automatically moves. But when we don't move, the colon doesn't move. And it stacks up toxins inside of us and we get sick. This is why I say you're unhealthy at these bigger weights. Because your colon, you haven't, when we do core exercises, do you know most people lose weight at the beginning? They just dropping waste. And then as soon as you drop that waist, your food is able to digest better and you start getting thinner and you start feeling better. Your skin gets clearer, you get stronger because you're not full of crap anymore. And it's amazing how we tell each other, you're full of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, get out of your head, people. And men, start leading yourself so you can lead the house. Because you've already, most of us, relinquished the leadership to our women. And they're angry about it. We sit back and we getting fat, laid up, and unattractive to the woman that we were attracted to. And we think she's supposed to like that. We think that woman's supposed to sit back and like a lazy man. I'm here to tell you no. And it may not be what you want to hear, but I really don't care. Because we got to get our children right. These women don't deserve this bullshit.
Can I make a suggestion?
Men don't either. Go ahead.
Because you mentioned, I just want to make a suggestion to somebody, because you mentioned social. Instead of like, if you're prone to picking up your phone the first thing in the morning, positive on your phone, like a positive app, like the Bible app, or maybe like positive like mental wellness app like Calm or something. Because I used to be the person that would get up and get on social media and then I stopped. So what I do is when I pick a Bible app and I read some verses, or I read some motivational phases. Try doing something like that. That'll help you trust. And then it'll in the afternoon and you haven't even been on social media. So changes like that.
So this, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna have to hop out because I have something that I gotta go get done. Um, I do believe that we don't really understand how how we function when we're healthy, and when we're unhealthy. So having a healthy lifestyle, which is eating properly, exercising, it contributes to the way you think, the way you move,
Yeah.
the way your body functions. It's not just, okay, I'm gonna do one and not do the other, because it's like a circle. If you take one out, it's not gonna be a full circle. You're gonna have broken. You're gonna have spaces in that circle, and I got to understand that, and I'm glad that I found out now than finding out later on in life, because then I do believe that it would be way harder for me to fix. What I would love for us to do is always have an open mind when it comes on to conversations like these, and not get offended, but take it as a life lesson that you're learning now at a stage that you can actually fix whatever is broken in your circle. Because you can be eating healthy, but you're not exercising. And I'm telling you now, I've found out that those things go together. Eating healthy don't work if you're not working out. It's like
Yeah.
they both come together. And then when you start doing that, your thought process changes. Everything about you, your attitude changes in so many ways. You used to walk around with a frown. For some reason, you're smiling now, because you can feel it. You wake up in the mornings and you feel it. It's a life changing thing.
Yes.
Like it makes you feel so profound. Like you don't have to worry about getting to a certain age and not being able to do certain things, because now you're fixing it now. Today I saw on TikTok a lady that was 74 years old, and I kid you not, I felt so embarrassed. You want to know why? Because I'm 35 and that woman looked better than I did
Mm.
at 74. When I tell you, I saw another one, she was 53. And when I looked at that woman, I said, that is how I'm going to look. And I'm making sure I look like that.
Yes.
Because she had this glow to her that I know can only come from the fact that she found out that the healthy lifestyle is way more better than getting up every day and doing the things that you used to do. My thought process has changed in these 14 days. I think
Mm. I think she
Okay.
is she gone?
Somebody locked out. Well, I'm gonna this has been I'm gonna close it out because we got some rough weather with purpose, and he's actually holding the stream right now. But I want to let everybody know, Megan, thank you so much. Follow Mentally Rich on TikTok, IG, Facebook. All of us, Phenomenal Woman. We're gonna do and Purpose and Resilience. This is the man with the plan who started all these things to keep us, to get rid of my stomach.
Get up.
So we'll just thank Purpose for giving me 3 abs. I think I have 4 abs now. But we having fun and we're doing this, and I want to let everybody know we are pushing this. This is food addiction, relationships. We're looking at the gamut of the human emotion and how everything goes. Okay, and follow us, man. I am posting. We're posting videos every day. every single day with something with you know, because even right now I'm starting to get into my plateau zone. So you'll see what plateau looks like. It's not a fun world sometimes. Okay. Plateau, when you get there, you don't see any changes, things look kind of the same. And you know, you sometimes you get a little depression. So I'm gonna walk all of that through. We have a men's conference coming up soon. Men's conference, Lion Conference. So, you know, if you guys want to know more about that, reach out to Purpose and Resilience or myself. I'll make sure Purpose gets it. But we have a Purpose and Resilience on IG, Facebook, Instagram. And we're going to look at this men's conference, getting things together to help our leadership, to help our mentality. We need to fortify the mentality of our men leadership so that we can have walking out of the house good leaders, not children, leaders. I don't care. I need a leader walking out of the house. So what I want to do is say thank you to everybody that, you know, on Bookface, on on Facebook, IG. Y'all know I have problems with words. I can add, but I have problems with words sometimes. But you know, Facebook, IG. I like to look, you know, shout out to some of the people that Nashida that came in here, Heather, people on TikTok. We have everybody going. Fit for Life, Kundi Michelle, Miss Janae, everybody that came on, Big Keith, Queen, Taylor, we have Miss Lori Beautiful, another 50-something-year-old joker that's cleaning up, doing it. So I just want to let y'all know, like, hey man, stay focused, stay in the game. When you wake up, you are in the game. And right now it's about being healthy. We got a lot of crap going on in our systems, man. A lot of stuff. You know, people are sick. Let's get healthy, because if we don't have healthy people, we're not going to have healthy leaders. Do you feel me? We're not going to have healthy leaders. And we got to be, I'm 50 years old, man. I don't have time to be worried about how my stuff is getting done, because my kids can't get up out of the chair and I'm helping them at 80 or 90 years old. We got to look at this a different way. So please follow everybody, and much love. I think we might we'll do an after party for like 10 minutes over at TikTok, but we're going to show on, you know, what over at Calories Corner on TikTok. I have a live page on it. So we'll do a couple things, couple questions, and let some people come in if you want to. And but I really enjoyed it. I like to thank everybody. Purpose is like, he had a few problems with the storm where he is, so he let me take the show. What you gonna do about it, Perk? What you gonna do? I got you. Nah, you know. So that's my boy. Love him to death. You guys have a good night. Two things I like to say all the time: much love, and even more than that, much life. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, everybody. We're gonna clean this up, and I pray that everybody on this live don't get treated like they deserve to be treated. Believe that. So we're gonna close this out. All right. You guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week. Oh my God. I sprained my wrist, but we're gonna see you next week, and we're gonna this is gonna be the same time, 8 o'clock, 8:30 every week. We're also gonna start opening up and doing more podcasts and things like that you'll see in the future. So please be prepared, follow us, and we're gonna have a good journey for the next few days, 90 days, and we're gonna make this a great week, great year, great life. So much love, everybody. Much life. Take it easy. Thanks, Megan. Bye-bye, people.